Hello, world. Good day. Welcome to the Institute of Global Professionals. Thank you for joining us for another live session of free international webinar here in IGP. My lovely audience, I am Marbeth from the Philippines and I will be your host for today. I hope that everyone will stay with us until the end of the program because we have a lot of things in store for you today. Here in IGP webinar, you do not just listen to our speakers, but we encourage your participation through our quiz competition and the Q&A part of the program. In our quiz competition, the top 10 participants will receive the quiz completion certificate that is right after the event. Then it will be followed by the Q&A part where everyone will be encouraged to interact with our speakers by sending in your questions in the comment box. In the latter part of the program, we will give you the certification code together with the certification process on how you can generate or auto-download your e-certificate. With this, everybody is encouraged to stay with us until the end of the program because a lot of exciting things awaits us today. I am sure all of us will have many e-takeaways and payoffs from this webinar. I am proud to tell you that every day many new participants are joining with us. Let me give you a little background about IGP. The Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institution which provides social work. We believe that it is not effective to increase one's skills by just acquiring formal education. So we provide training and consultation to generate a proficient generation through webinars, trainings, offline and online courses with the best speakers and highly trained coaches from all over the globe to cater you with the best learning platform. I am proud to inform you that IGP is an ISO certified training education institute. We are internationally recognized and globally accredited. IGP is your trusted platform to learn new things from the global leading leaders. We are the leading online skill development institution with thousands of learners worldwide. Our mission is to empower people and enhance their skills through webinars. We are committed to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to the Institute of Global Professionals free international webinar. Once again, I am Marbeth, a core volunteer of IGP from the Philippines. I'm so privileged to host today's webinar. With this, I would like to say, let us watch together and learn together. We believe that the power is gained by sharing knowledge and not by hoarding it. Did you know that as of yesterday, we have already successfully completed 262 webinars in various topics of your interest? All of these are available in our website, that is www.eduigp.com. Feel free to access them anytime. We expect that all of you are getting a little bit benefited both in your personal and professional life. We wish that you remain with us in this long journey. From time to time, you may like, share, tag your friends, and write your comments. Share us how you feel about IGP and what you think about IGP. You may also share your suggestions that will help us innovate the program. Your attachments encourage us to do better and give our best service. Without further ado, let us start the program with the IGP mantra, feed your skills, that is, innovate, inspire, and impact. For today, we are presenting webinar number 263 on teaching linguistics to literary teachers. Today, we have one brilliant speaker from India. Our speaker for today is a former assistant professor. I would like to invite on screen our speaker for today, Dr. Ravi Parihar. Let's give him a round virtual applause. Hello, good evening, Dr. Ravi. How are you today?
Yes, thank you so much for introducing my name to the participants. And today I'm going to talk about linguistics and what are the possible ways in linguistics and what does linguistics do in context to teaching and learning practice. I hope I am very much audible to you.
Yes, you are, sir. But before
Okay.
going to your presentation,
Yeah,
probably you
yeah.
would like to share something about yourself first. If that is okay with you, share us something about you.
Yeah, in fact, first, yeah, please let me know it once if I need to continue with my talk or you need to have something more that you want to share.
Yes, anything will do, sir. I could see your presentation already.
Okay, shall I
Well,
start?
yes, let's give another round of applause to Dr. Ravi Parihar. Take it away, sir. The audience is yours.
May I start the presentation?
Yes, sir. Go on, sir.
Yeah.
You may start anytime.
Okay. So I'm prepared for this talk, and now I'm going to start it right now. And first of all, I would like to extend my heartiest thanks to the IGP Bangladesh for organizing this talk. And today I'm talking about the topic like this teaching linguistics to the literary teachers. First of all, we need to understand what does linguistics mean, and thereafter who is a literary teacher. These are two basic things like linguistics is a discipline of study which talks about languages, study of human languages, and how human languages are studied, that is concerned with linguistics. And literary teachers are not, may or may not be aware about what does linguistics do in depth. And literary teachers teach literature like part texts. They interpret texts like novel, drama, poetry, non-fiction, etc. So those teachers who are dealing with these kinds of textual materials, they are literary teachers, like someone who is teaching poetry, drama, novel. So this way, these teachers who are teaching these things contents are literary teachers, and they may or may not have the knowledge of linguistics. What does linguistics do? When we talk about it, we will definitely come to know about various aspects of linguistics. So here, first of all, we need to look at the word linguistics. This word linguistics tells us, this word makes us understand that linguistics deals with the study of human language. And human language may have two basic forms. One can be spoken form, and the other can be written form, or we can have sign language as well for those people who are unable to speak, those who are dumb. For them we have sign language, and those who are quite proficient in speaking, we have spoken form of language for those people. And uh, it's very much clear that language lives on the lips of the people, and it cannot be simply documented and preserved. That is another aspect of linguistics, but the basic thing is, how can language survive? If its speakers are alive, then language is also alive. Otherwise, if the speakers are dead, then language will also be dead. So it depends on the linguists to preserve the language, to encourage the speakers, native speakers of the language, to make that language uh, you know to preserve that language, to save that language from getting extinct. So this is what basics of linguistics. And we can what can we study with respect to a human language, like levels of language. We call, in linguistics we call those levels by different names. Like first level is phonetics, and phonetics deals with speech, sounds of speech sounds of human language. Like for example, we have sa, cha, o, pa. These are some examples for human speech sounds. These have some meaning, but when I strike uh, the table with my hand, that will also generate some sound, but that has some different meaning. But here this linguistic sound is also meaningful when we combine it together with other meaningful sounds. So phonetics deals with the study of human speech sounds, and under phonetics category we have three basic subfields. Like first is articulatory phonetics, then we have auditory phonetics, then acoustic phonetics. So in auditory phonetics, what we do, we experience two things, like place of articulation of consonants, and then manner of articulation. So for articulating our speech sounds, our articulators are required to be active. Like we have tongue, teeth, mouth, nose, hard palate, soft palate, velum, uvula. All these are, speech organs, which help us to articulate linguistic sounds. Then this articulation of linguistic sounds takes place in context to articulatory phonetics, and this depends on place of articulation and manner of articulation. Like, well, we have some examples, like pa, ta, ka. These are three sound linguistic sounds, and then ba, the, ga. These are also three linguistic sounds. Now, based on place of articulation, pa is a bilabial sound. That means two lips come into contact with each other when we pronounce pa. Then ba is also pronounced likewise. Then similarly we have other sounds like ga and ka. So these are velar sounds, ka, ga, anga. Likewise, this is there. So which part of the mouth and vocal tract is participating, where the articulation is taking place, and which articulator is going to participate. So if we consider tongue, tip of the tongue touches to the upper teeth, and that produces ta. So this way ta is pronounced, and articulated linguistics deals with this thing. Then second is auditory. Auditory phonetics deals with the speech sound perception. So when you speak up, when you pronounce something, like when you pronounce sa, ta, pa, ka, da, ba, ga, any of the sounds, that is perceived by the listener, the person who is going to listen, or uh, sounds, our words, our speech, whatsoever we are going to deliver, that is perceived in the form of sounds, combination of sounds, etc., and these are perceived. So the auditory perception takes place through our ear system of listening. And then we have acoustic phonetics. It deals with the physical properties of speech sounds. Like it talks about frequency, intensity, duration, how much duration was there when I pronounced pa. Likewise, ta, sa, za. So this is there. Then we have phonology. And phonology deals with the sound arrangement system of human language. Like human language has sounds, but how those sounds are arranged. Earlier at point one, we had four sounds like sa, ta, o, pa, and now we arranged those sounds in different forms, like pa, o, sa, ta. Then we have sa, ta, o, pa. Then o, pa, ta, sa. Then we have ta, o, pa, sa. Then this way different words are formulated, different words are obtained when we combined, or we arranged those sounds which were uh, given in at point one. So similarly we have consonants and vowels in linguistics, and how can we study them, that is there. Then for your understanding purpose, we have this diagram. And if we look at this, there are position of lips, and then this yellow track shows oral cavity. And then oral cavity, at the root of the tongue there is pharynx, and then oral pharynx and larynx is also there. So this there is one flip like structure which is known as velum. And when the velum is lower, when the position of velum gets lowered, then the nasal cavity opens, and some sounds, nasal sounds, when these are pronounced, it gets, air escapes through the nasal cavity as well. So this way, how something takes place where the tip of the tongue touches it, or when the lips make contact, at that point of time we say which, at what particular place the articulation took place and which sound got produced, or which sound we pronounced. Then we have contrastive sounds are there. Contrastive sounds like consonants. If we consider the consonants in a language, then what kinds of consonants are there? There are two kinds of consonants. One is voiceless and other is voiced. And how can we understand there are voiced and voiceless consonants? First of all, here at 1.1 under articulatory phonetics, we have example of sounds like pa, ta, and ka, and then ba, da, and ga. These sounds are um, in considered as voiceless. Pa, ta, and ka are voiceless, and ba, da, and ga are voiced sounds. Now, how can we confirm? But all of them are consonants. Consonants. Pa, ta, ka, and ba, da, ga are consonants. But three of them are voiceless, and the next three are voiced. So this is based on voicing articulation of um, articulators when behave in a particular manner. Like if we consider our uh, Adam's apple, or we call that vocal cords. So vibration of the vocal cords is responsible for the sound, whether that is voiced or voiceless. Now we have consonants like ra, then la. So this way, as in road, load, we have ra and la consonants at word initial positions. Now voiceless consonants are like pa, ta, and ka. These are voiceless. Why these are voiceless? And ba, da, ga are voiced consonants. Why? And how we can establish that a particular sound pronounced is a voiced or voiceless? Now there is one exception, like all vowels in a language are voiced. Vowels are always voiced. So voicing has certain characteristics, like if we put our palm, our fingers on our throat where the vocal cords vibrate. So on pronouncing pa and on pronouncing ba, if you place your palm on your throat, you will find vibration in one case of sound like b, and in another sound pa or ta ka. If you pronounce them, there will be no vibration of your vocal cords. And if you want to get confirm, if you want to confirm the sound, which one of the sounds is voiced and which one of them is not voiced, so you need to do a little bit practical, like you need to lit a candle, and after lightning candle you need to place that near to the nearer to your lips and try to pronounce pa and ba. And in one case you will find, in case of pa, the air, that flame of that candle will not get affected, and in case of ba, that flame of lightning candle will definitely get push to forward. So the forward push of that lightning candle, that the flame of that candle will get forward push. So this way, that will get us confirmed that our voice is pronounced as uh, whether that is voiced or voiceless. So if another third technique is also there, if you put your fingers into both the ears and try to pronounce pa and ba, definitely you need to place your fingers in left ear and right ear, that is outer ear, but you need to place them with little bit force, and then you will get the vibration in case of ba sound, and in case of pa there will be no vibration at all. So this way it's the way to confirm sounds, whether these are voiced consonants or voiceless consonants. And vowels, for vowels there is no such procedure, because there is no abstraction. Airstream mechanism hardly faces any abstraction in the vocal tract when we pronounce vowels. But in case of consonants, there is at some point of time or some point of place, there is abstraction in the vocal tract when we pronounce these consonant sounds. Then we have uh, morphology. This is the second level of a language. Like, morphology deals with the internal structure of words, how words are formed, how these are formulated, or how these are analyzed. So there are two aspects: one is word and second is word part. So uh, technically, in linguistics, especially morphology, we consider morphemes, and morphemes are of two kinds. One is free, and other one is bound. And we have one example here, like cat. And then, when we want to make plural
Well, I think Dr. Ravi Parihar is having some technical difficulty right now. But as we are waiting for him, I would like to share with you what I have learned about him a while ago. He discussed a while ago that linguistics deals with human language. Were you able to catch that? And also, he discussed that language lives on the lives on the lips of the people. Isn't it very interesting? And another thing that I have here on my notes is that if the speaker is alive, then language is also alive, or language also has life. So language grows together with the people. And a while ago, he was also discussing about phonology and morphology. This deals about the sounds. The phonology deals about the sounds of every letters that we have. Actually, in preschool, in my opinion, before I was a preschool teacher, I think it is better for preschool teachers to teach phonics to children using the sounds, to teach them sounds, each sounds of the letter, instead of teaching them the names of the letter.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry for
Yes,
disruption. Like
sir. Welcome
in,
back.
internet service had stopped. It was a technical error, and I once again got it recovered. Now I hope I am very much audible to you once again. And could you please share the slides?
Just share your slides, sir. We're waiting.
I am not. Is my slide not visible to you?
Not yet, sir.
Oh, let me share it. कोड में खान दी मैं
Okay, as while we are waiting for you, let me greet some of our participants who are on our FB Live right now. I would like to greet Paul Cypress. How are you? Thanks for that wonderful emoji. And also Marvic Villanueva. How are you, ma'am?
I
Guys,
think now it's visible.
not yet.
Yes, please share it.
Just share it, sir. We're just waiting for you. Okay,
Yeah,
it's now visible.
yeah, it's visible. And we got to know about phonetics in context to articulatory
Sinasang mo
phonetics,
nila,
auditory
lalagyan
phonetics,
mo ng tubig,
acoustics,
muntik na mahulog, nakatoro sa gilid ng ref.
and then this is the speech mechanism for producing consonants, vowels, and then we discussed contrastive sounds, and now we have morphology. It talks about word and word part. And technically in linguistics we have technical term like morpheme. A morpheme can be free and bound. Now example we have to look at, like cat. Cat is a free morpheme because it can stand on its own. It needs no further substratum to rely on. And when we make its plural, then sa is a bound morpheme. Sa is here acting as a sound as well as word part. So cat becomes cats when we make its plural. So s is bound morpheme, and it shows the plurality in a word. And now word formation processing takes place, like how words are formed. There are many processes, and out of them there is one affixation process. And affixation includes prefix, suffix, and infix. But here we have certain examples. Look at example like hospital. We have a hospital uh, as a free morpheme. Then we make it we made it like hospitalize. Then the de-hospitalize. Then de-hospitalization. See what is happening here in these examples. Like hospital and then eyes. This eyes is suffix. Then here in next word dehospitalized we have prefix d and then eyes as suffix. So prefix and suffix are both available in the word dehospitalize. So this way it works, and this process of word formation is known as affixation. Then we have derivation and inflection. In case of derivation, what is there that we have to look at? Now, in derivational context, we have a word teach, and teach becomes teacher when we add derivational affix er to it. And see what is going on in context to derivation. Teach word, teach is verb, and when we got teacher after adding er to this teach, now teacher is a noun word. Earlier teach was verb, it got its grammatical category transformed from verb to noun, and this is what teacher is a derived word, as we got it after adding derivational affix er to the teach word. Then in next example we have, in next example, like tall, tall, and tall is a word which is adjective in nature. Grammatical category of that word is adjective. So we added the same er to this tall word, and now we got taller. This is taller. So from tall we got taller after adding er. Now see what happens in our visual context. We see there is er in case of teach and er. Then in next example we have also er, but the grammatical class of tall word is adjective, and we added er as an affix, or we bound morpheme to that tall word, and we got taller. So the word taller is what? Word taller is also an adjective, and tall was also adjective. And grammatical category did not lose its original category of being an adjective. So that way, that tall and taller word are both are adjectives, but what happened there? Grammatical function is taking place in the later example of tall and taller. Taller is comparative degree of grammar is there, like tall, taller, and then tallest. It can be tallest if we add est to that tall, but that will also remain adjective, whether in comparative degree or superlative degree. So that function is known as inflection, which talks about grammatical processing of a word. But in context to earlier example teach and er, it is derived. The word teacher is derived from teach when we added er to it. And in case of tall and taller, we have that is taller is inflected word, it is not derived, because there is only grammatical uh, change, but category of that word remains the constant one. Then this is the next one is compounding is also a process in linguistics where two independent words are combined together, and that word is made a new one. Like for example, we have one example like black and then bird. Now black is itself an independent word, and bird is also independent word, and black is an adjective whereas bird is a noun. And collectively when we make it combine into combined form, it becomes blackboard, and blackboard is a noun. So this is what compounding process, where two independent words are combined together and make that word becomes a compound one. The next processing is clipping. Word part elimination takes place in clipping process of morphology. For example, gas and then olin. So it the full word was gasoline. Then the next word was technology. And nowadays the earlier part is retained, whereas later part of the word is deleted. And this gasoline, nowadays nobody writes or speaks gasoline, but simply they write or pronounce as gas, and the later part is deleted. In case of technology, we simply write tech, and it is understood that this stands for technology word. So similarly, we have other examples like ad for advertisement, then exam for examination, then phone for telephone, then copter for helicopter. So some part of a word is eliminated and it is abridged. I would say clipping is like that. Then then we have blending, parts of two words combined together. Now, for example, we have smoke as an independent word one, and the second word is for fog. Now see, this beginning part of smoke sama, and then and last part of the fog word like oga, these are combined together as mog, smog. Smog is a new word where there is availability of both fog and smog. At that point of time we use this word smog. So similarly we have other examples like breakfast and lunch. Now out of breakfast we have taken only br and then unch from lunch word, and it becomes brunch. Brunch is uh, the time when it is neither breakfast nor lunch. At that time if we eat something, then it becomes brunch. So this processing of word formation is blending. And then next example is hotel and motor. So it becomes mortal, like um, um, earlier part of this motor is combined together with the later part of this hotel word, and it becomes mortal. Mortal is such a hotel where there is availability of car parking. Likewise, this is the thing. In this way blending takes place. Then we have abbreviations and acronyms in context of morphology. Now, what is the difference between acronym and abbreviation? Abbreviation, like if I say IPA, International Phonetic Alphabets. Now, initial letters of these three words are, extracted, and some expression is established like IPA. But we cannot pronounce this IPA as a single word. Similar is the case with IGP, like Institute of Global Professionals. We need to pronounce it as IGP, but as a word we cannot pronounce it. So these two examples, IPA and IGP, are abbreviations. Whereas if I consider AIDS, it is also like similar to abbreviation but has some difference. Like it can be pronounced as a independent word. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome, and initial letters of these words are combined together and we are able to pronounce AIDS as a single word. We pronounce it as AIDS, but it is not the case with earlier two examples, IPA and IGP. So AIDS is an acronym, but IGP and IPA are abbreviations because we are unable to pronounce them. Then we have also like another example like ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization, and that ISRO example is uh, an acronym because we are able to pronounce that ISRO as an independent word. So that becomes ISRO, and that is acronym. Then next one is um, syntax is also a level of linguistics which helps us to analyze the sentence construction. how sentences are constructed in any language, but here we are going to consider only English language sentence. Now in English, for example, we say he eats banana. Now he is acting as a subject, eats is verb, and banana is object. So the syntactic arrangement of subject, verb, and object is SVO. So the order of words in English is SVO. This is the basic word order of English sentence. Now then we have six possible order of words in all the languages of the world. And first is SVO, then SOV, VSO, VOS, OVS, and OSV. These are six possible order of words in all the languages of the world. But yeah, as far as English is concerned, English has SVO type. If we consider Hindi language, then it has SOV type order of words, and we will be looking at this perspective little later. First, what is like constituents? Constituents are considered as a group of words or single unit. We consider a group of words as a single unit, and that is known as constituent. And there are tests for realizing the constituents, which are uh, which follow as like substitution test. Substitution test helps us to realize the syntactic arrangement of words. Like this underlined expression, this gentle elephant is walking. This is an example of an English sentence. And here the underlined part is noun phrase, like the gentle elephant. This gentle elephant, and it's noun phrase, and it can be absolutely replaced with another thing. And this string of words is known as single unit, and we call it as constituent. So this can be replaced like this gentle elephant, it can be entirely replaced with another subject like I am walking. So simply first person pronoun replaced these much of words like this gentle elephant is walking. I am walking. He or she is walking. So this way, this entire uh, phrase is replaced by the other one, but we are going to consider as test for realizing the constituents. So this means this much part, the gentle elephant is replaceable with any other subject or noun phrase. And same is the case with other example. And now we have conjoining test. Conjoining test talks about noun phrase conjoins with noun phrase, whereas verb phrase conjoins with verb phrase. But there is exception. Verb phrase cannot be established with noun phrase, or verb noun phrase and verb phrase are excluded from conjoining test. Now here is one example of conjoining, like John and Mary came. Now John is noun, Mary is also noun, but both of them come under noun phrase. And under noun phrase, that means John falls under noun phrase, and Mary also falls under noun phrase. So noun phrase conjoining takes place. Similarly, in next example, like John went to school and played hockey. Now went to school is verb phrase, and played hockey is also verb phrase. So verb phrase can be conjoined, and similarly noun phrase can be conjoined. But it's unlike verb phrase and noun phrase combination is not admissible. It's not allowed to be taking place in context to conjoining. Then we have distribution test. Words occur together in case of distribution test, like can't we can't separate them, these words which come together, like this healthy elephant is mine. So this healthy elephant is mine. I cannot break down the underlined words into different sections. These can be considered together. as one unit of words. I served some banana to this healthy elephant. Now see, this healthy elephant is acting as a, collectively a single constituent. And I served some banana to this healthy elephant. This healthy elephant also came here in the next example. I served some banana to this healthy elephant. Now this healthy elephant, we cannot isolate any of these words, but the position can be changed. That is a different issue. Then we have next, semantics. Semantics deals with the study of meaning. Now, how meaning is understood. Speaker's meaning is there, then sentence meaning is there. If something is written, then the literal meaning of that uh, piece of writing is considered, whereas speaker's meaning is different. It, in what speaker intends to convey, that can be, understood from context only. In what, in which context speaker is going to convey something, whereas sentence meaning is confined to literal meaning. So there are two kinds of meanings, like denotative meaning and connotative meaning. Denotative meaning talks about the dictionary based meaning, and connotative meaning talks about the, you know associated meanings, like many word associated meanings can be there with a single word. So that is basic context of semantics, like we do study the meaning of expressions, words, phrases, sentences, etc. Now there is one important aspect, like ambiguity. Now what is ambiguity? When a single word or a sentence generates more than one meaning, that becomes ambiguity. So meaning generation in more than one way becomes difficult for us to decipher which one of the meanings we need to follow and which one of them we need to discard. That is what. And ambiguity is of two types. One is lexical ambiguity. First of all, what is the example for lexical ambiguity? I went to the bank and I saw scales on the table. Now see, these two sentences, only single word is responsible for generating more than one meaning. Now we are not sure which bank we are going to refer. I went to the bank. Bank can be a financial bank or a river bank. So which bank is it is exactly under expression, we are not certain about that. So this is lexical ambiguity. In brief, ambiguity raised by a single word in a sentence, that is lexical ambiguity. So in case of scales, I saw scales on the table. It can be an instrument of measurement like scale, or it can be the dead epidermis of uh, dead epidermis of any snake, dead snake or something like that. That can also be scales. So which one of the scales we are going to refer, that's not certain. So that lexical ambiguity has to be disambiguated, and this is only possible when we provide context, in which context we are going to use that particular word. Now we have second level of ambiguity, that is structural ambiguity or grammatical ambiguity. And now structural ambiguity is there. The and we have certain examples, like the chicken is ready to eat. Now see, it's not clear who is ready to eat, or who is being presented as ready to eat. In one example, 1a, at 1a we can see like the chicken is ready to eat something. This is the first meaning which gets generated, for example, for this first example. Then Second, uh, meaning is also there at 1b. The chicken is ready to be eaten by man or someone else, but there are two meanings. The chicken is ready to eat, it doesn't simply mean that chicken is absolutely ready to eat something, or it can be um, understood in the second context like 1b. The chicken is ready to be eaten, that means somebody has prepared chicken, and then likewise. Then similarly we have I saw a man with the telescope. So it also generates two meanings. Like I saw a man through telescope. That means I used telescope and saw the man. Then I saw a man who had telescope with him. So which one of these two meanings we are going to consider, that's not certain. So this kind of ambiguity which arises from the entire sentence part, not only one word but entire sentence is responsible for creating more than generating more than one meaning, that is structural ambiguity. Then next is branches of linguistics. Now uh, we are going to look at them briefly. Like historical linguistics, it talks about evolution of languages over the span of time, changes a language underwent. So what kinds of linguistic changes a language went through, that we consider, and that is known as historical linguistics. Now applied linguistics is second branch of linguistics, and application of linguistic theories and methods to elucidate language problems like teaching and learning of foreign languages and analysis of language disorders in uh, second language learners. So this way, this is applied linguistics talks about. Then we have social linguistics, and it talks about relationship between language and society. So linguistic identity of social group is considered, and social attitudes of a speech community towards a particular language. So this way these are studied. Then we have computational linguistics. It talks about computational techniques and concepts which are applied to natural language processing and speech synthesis, speech recognition, then automatic translation, building corpus, etc. Then we have psycholinguistics, linguistic behavior and psychological processes underlying the linguistic behavior. Then we have memory, perception, and learning, etc. Then scope for a linguistics degree holders. Suppose you are going to opt for linguistics and want to earn your degree in linguistics, then what could be the scope for you, or what could be the job perspective? So why do you need to know it? Because uh, you will establish this fact that w- prior opting for linguistics, what could be the possible ways where we can find ourselves after earning linguistic degree. It's very important to know before opting for this linguistics field of study. Now lexicographer is there, and a person who makes dictionary maker. A person who deals with making of dictionaries is lexicographer, and linguistics also teaches us how dictionaries are made, how dictionaries are written. Then speech and language therapist. So at various speech and language institutes, auditory concept comes into effect when we think our people who have lost their um, hearing capacity. So language therapists work there. So they try to understand the speech and language connection of a person who is suffering in that context. Then we have language teachers, like those who are you know language teachers. They may opt for school level teaching, college level teaching, university level teaching. Then we have copy editor. So this is the job of an editor. You can get it if you have the knowledge of linguistics, if you have the degree uh, that you have acquired in linguistics, then proofreader is also there. It's also the scope for a person who has acquired degree in linguistics. Then criminal speech analyzer, the person who analyzes the speech of a criminal in a forensic laboratory, that person becomes forensic linguist. So forensic linguist has to detect whether the given sample of speech is related to, or it matches with the criminal who is uh, under trial. So this way a forensic linguist works. Then language policy maker. So in every country language policies are there, and the language policy makers are also there, and they are very much proficient, very much professional in context to formulating the various policies related to language. Then we have linguist. And linguist, what is the nature of being a linguist in general context? Like language documentation. So the languages which have not been documented till date, it is the job of a linguist to document the languages. And revival of the languages also takes place through documentation. Or some languages which are endangered one, those can be saved, those can be documented, and those can be preserved for future generation. Then we have, this is another topic now. um, I wanted to let you know the basics of field linguist, or simply I would say linguist, who wants to document an undocumented language. Now first of all you need to look at this map. It belongs to uh, the Kishtwar region in Jammu and Kashmir of India. This red colored part is Kishtwar district in Jammu and Kashmir of India. Now see, preliminaries for required for documenting a language. Suppose you are a linguist and you wanted to document a language which has not been documented till date, or which is little known to the linguistic world. Then first of all you need to identify the language, whether that language is documented or undocumented. Then, for example, we have Sarudi language. It is spoken in district Kishtwar of Jammu and Kashmir in India. Then, geographical selection. So, you need to select a particular geography, or if this language is spoken, suppose Sarudi is spoken in 20 villages of district Kishtwar. Out of 20 villages, you need to select 10 or 8 villages where the uniform accent is spoken. Now, few villages of Sarudi are selected like Jushana, Salana, Badat, Tar, Duga, etc. These are the names of villages which are selected for documenting Sarudi. Why? Because the uniformity of speech accent uh, spe- is seen in that area. Similar accent is noticed, that people speak in a similar manner. So we need to select that particular geography where the uniform accent of a particular language is spoken. So third point is field site visits. How many times do you need to visit in the field site? Uh, it depends on the length of your work, how much lengthy you are going to document, that much times you need to visit. Now in fast visit, inform the purpose of your visit to the native speakers of that language which you are going to document. Why are you there? Why have you visited that particular geography? So the purpose must be informed to the native speakers, or you will be considered uh, as as an agent, or something like detective. So in order to make people feel at ease, the native speakers are supposed to receive your uh, informed consent, or informed aspect of documenting the language, or your purpose of visiting that place. Like how can you do that? you need to read out like, I am intended to document your mother tongue. And this is a sort of information that the native speakers will receive, and then they will not be at you know discomfort. So they will feel at ease, and then they will cooperate you if you are acting as a linguist who is going to document their native language. Then this second this is a sample for consent form for the native speakers, and this is a sort of form that you have to develop as a linguist, like, my name is dash dash dash, any name that you want to tell, that you want to if you are going to elicit data from a native speaker of the target language, then definitely the name of that speaker must be there. And suppose I consulted Nina Rathore as a native speaker, then her name is supposed to be kept here. Then, I live at dash and dash, I live at name of the village in uh, in area, in which area that this Jushanal is located. So the name of village is supposed to be there. The native speaker's village name is required, and that native speaker has to pronounce like, I am willing to offer raw data of my mother tongue. And what is the mother tongue? The name of that mother tongue is supposed to be there. Like, this is Sarudi here, and this thing the native speaker has to you know note down in this consent form. This is basically a consent form for the native speaker. Then, today I am going to narrate some folk tales of the Sarud region. Also, I am good at proverbs in Sarudi language, etc. Then, I, Nina Rathore, hereby declare that I have provided the data willingly. No forceful elicitation has been carried out by the linguist. And the person who is going to collect data, he is the linguist at that point of time, and then that person's name is supposed to be also written there. And this is just a sample, and the name and signature of the informant is supposed to be there at the bottom, and the date, on what date that language data is collected. So this is a consent form, because it do not it helps you to you know remain at safer side, because forceful elicitation of data is illegal. So we need to be quite aware about that. So once we are in the field, we need to present this form to the native speaker, and mm, native speaker has to make the entries mentioning the name of village, name of location where that native speaker resides, and how that native speaker is going to provide data and who is going to collect the data. These are the basics in order to document a language. Then next is some other preliminaries are also there, like data gathering or collecting or eliciting, etc. How can we do that? So we need to begin with sound system of target language, and here this is an example for Sarudi, like consonants of that language, then vowels of that language, we need to collect them. Then how can we establish the phonemic inventories? Phonemic inventories is what? Consonants and vowels. Like, there is one example, minimal pairs. For example, we have cat and bat. These are two words, and at the word big initial level we have ka, and then the next is ba. In case of cat and bat, we have ka and ba. Then these ka and ba are minimal pairs, because the rest of the word part is similar in both examples, but we can replace ba with ka in order to make bat as cat. So these are minimal pairs. Ka and ba are minimal pairs. And similarly in Sarudi we have examples for minimal pairs of for vowels, like in I na in is Sarudi word, and the meaning of this word is this, and un is for that. So I and u in case of in and un, uh, like this and that. So this way I and u is there. Now Now we have what is happening. Please let me fix. Then data can be collected at morphology level of Sarudi. So we need to collect nouns for singular, plural, masculine, and feminine words. So Manu is for man, Matu for boy, Konsh for woman, and then Kui for girl. So gender, number, and person are to be collected in context to this morphological data. Then it can be, number can be singular, plural, person can be first person, second person, and third person. Then verbs like first, second, and third form of the verb, like we in English we have do, did, done, likewise. So this way, if verbs are there in a target language, then you can collect them as well. Then verb paradigm like infinitive, khanu, to eat. Then causative one is there like x made y to eat something, and then in causative second, khawa, like X made Y to make someone else eat something. So this way it's there. Then adjectives like kalu, black, huglu, then untidy, and then buru, bad. Likewise, you can collect these kinds of words uh, at word level. Then at sentence level, you can write the sentence in its word order. Like first line is going to reflect raw data of the target language, like baji roti khan thu. Then baji is father, roti is food, khan is eat, present, and then thu is auxiliary present. So the running translation is in the third line, like father eats food. So this weight is there. Then data tagging is done in line 1, line 2, and line 3. It's a method in descriptive linguistics. Here, Baji is subject, Roti is object, and Khanthu is verb and auxiliary present. Hence, the word order in Sarudi is SOV type. And whereas in English we have subject, verb, and object type. So it is unlike English. So what theory generates out of this, like um, the order of words in a Sarudi sentence is SOV type, and the order of words in simple sentence in Sarudi is unlike English, where English depicts like SVO type, but Sarudi has SOV type. So this kind of theory gets generated out of data. Then next is agreement in languages. So this is also the part of language documentation, eighth point. And look at example 8.1. It's from Hindi. Radha roti khati hai. Radha eats food. Then in Hindi we have Ramesh roti khata hai. Now look at the man verb khata and khati. Khata, khati in case of 8.1, it's red colored, and it's blue, green colored, I would say blue colored. Hindi, Ramesh roti khata hai. Khata and khati, these get changed. These change, change takes place in the man verb with respect to the nature of the gender of subject. Like Radha is feminine subject, and that's why the man verb becomes khati. Otherwise, the man verb will be khata if we have masculine subject Ramesh or anyone else. So ha is auxiliary in both the sentences of Hindi 8.1 and 2, and this remains unaffected. Auxiliary did not participate in agreement context, where man verb participates and it changes as per the gender of the subject. So, what kind of agreement is taking place in this language? Hindi sentence examples like subject and verb, man verb agreement in Hindi takes place. Whereas in Sarudi, what happens? 8.3. Look at this example. Sarudi, Radha roti khanthi. Then we have 8.4. Raju roti khanthu. So khan is man verb, and it remains unaffected irrespective of feminine and masculine gender. And thu and thi, these are auxiliaries, present auxiliaries, and these change according to the gender. So Radha is feminine, and that's why here we have thi at 8.3, and at 8.4 we have thu because we have Raju as a masculine gender. So this is this way we say what kind of agreement is taking place in Sarudi. Unlike Hindi, in Hindi we had subject and verb agreement. Here we have subject and auxiliary agreement. So man verb did not participate in agreement in context to Sarudi language. This way you can also have some idea about documenting something. If we are going to collect social linguistic data, if we are going to collect social linguistic data, then what could be the possibility? Now look at 9.1. Participant observation method takes place if we are acting as a social linguist. Then linguist acts as a participant. He never raises question, he never distributes questionnaires, he never speaks to anyone, but in fact he participates in an event which is taking place in a particular geography or location where that linguist has visited. Now regional or folk dance in Doda, Kishtwar districts, etc. Suppose these kinds of regional dances or folk dances which are um, being observed by a linguist who is acting as a social linguist now. Now, these dances are popularly known as dhakku, and method of dancing is what manner people dance. The natives of that region dance. It's a circular manner, but anti-clockwise circular dance takes place, and free movement of uh, hands back and forth rhythmically, feet and hands are presented back and forth rhythmically, and that's a free movement. And dancers stoop while dancing and making hands like this way and that way, and propose moving forward in anti-clockwise direction. So that is also there. So these kinds of things, social linguist has to observe himself in what manner, whether anti-clockwise or clockwise direction, dancers are dancing in a circular manner, and how the movement of hands and feet is taking place. So that is that can be captured, that can be videotaped, that can be recorded in a video form. Even we can take notes. We can prepare notes if some dialogues based on of that particular language community are pronounced while dancing. And while dancing, people in Doda and Badrawa, they pronounce certain dialogues like ভালো তুষো নাচে ho ho, bhalo tusho nache ho. This way people pronounce this dialogue while dancing in a anti-clockwise circular manner, and they make free movements of hands and feet. And bhalo is what good, and tusho is your, nache is dance, and then ho is like bravo. So this is this way dancers are going to appreciate one another, that your dancing mode of dancing is very fantastic one. So this is there. Then linguistic aspect, this was in context to this one dialogue. And second dialogue is like shabash dholi ho. So dholi is what drum beaters are known as dholi, and they are being appreciated by the dancers. And while dancing they pronounce this dialogue as well, like shabash dholi ho. It's like shabash dholi ho. So this way it is pronounced while dancing, and this means bravo, drum beaters. So ho ho is, it's an emphasis part. It emphasizes the appreciation towards drum beaters like shabash dholi. Ho is emphasis, linguistic unit. Now um, we have to prepare questionnaires if we are going to collect data in the field site. So preparing of questionnaire is very important. So Anvita B in 2001 suggests do not visit the field site without having questionnaire in hand. And questionnaire encapsulates the following content like name of the informant, place of interview, date of interview, name of the investigator. So here name of the participant will be like speaker from whom you are going to collect the data, place of interview at what particular location, village or city or any particular location you are going to collect the data, and on what date that data is, you know, captured in video form, audio form. And name of the investigator is a linguist like you. Suppose you are going to document that target language, then you are the investigator. So linguistic info of the speaker, like whether a speaker is polyglot, monolingual, bilingual, multilingual, etc., that is supposed to be noted down uh, in the questionnaire section. Then recording the informant in audio and video form is also appropriate. Then something I have not mentioned in this slide, but that's also very important. Suppose you are going to um, work at abroad level, like you are from Bangladesh and you want to work as a linguist in India, then you need to travel for far and wide. Then definitely the geographical location where you are going to collect data, you may need travel, something for traveling purpose like vehicle. You will hire someone vehicle or any motorbike, etc. Then at that point of time, what will happen? At that point of time, you will need, or you will definitely require certain things like monetary fund. So you need to invest money in order to hire motor car for, you know, commuting purpose. From you need to, if you need to commute from city to any village, far off village where you are going to collect data, so budgeting is required. You need to prepare a particular budget. If you are you are representative of an institute, then definitely you need to mm, prepare budget in context to day 1, day 2, day 3, how long you are going to spend time in that field. For that purpose, how much, you know, monetary fund is required, money is required, then that much amount is supposed to be granted to you by the institute where you are affiliated with. Then this way it is done. But there is data in the following domains, like what kind of data you can collect: words related to nature, animals, mountains, rivers, and agriculture. Then words concerning the human body like physical appearance, physiology, etc. Then words found in professions like, or words related to professional life like teaching, learning, medicinal values like plants, herbs, shrubs, etc. So these kinds of words you can collect from a particular location where you are going to document that particular native language of those people. Then words related to marriage, kinship, festivals, cultural performances, etc., can also be collected in the form of raw data of your target language. Then this is very important to note down, like do not consult female informant if you are male linguist while eliciting the words relating to the human body. And if the linguist happens to be a female, then female cannot consult male native speaker of that language. If the body parts are supposed to be collected, terms for body parts are supposed to be collected, so this way there is some constraint in collecting data. Otherwise, in normal mode of collecting words, it's very easy to consult both male and female language informants. Then concluding the topic is like if you want to document a language, uh, but that language should be undescribed, or it should be little known, lesser known language which has not been adequately documented till date. If you document that language and bring it forth at the linguistic platform, that would help you generate linguistic grammar as an outcome, and which is comprised of the following levels like phonetics, phonology, morphology, and syntax. And collectively, we consider it as morphosyntax, and then semantics, which deals with the meaning of sentences, phrases, and clauses, etc. So, this way it is done. Then points of importance are also very important to note down, like as a linguist one can document a grammar of a language or grammars of many languages. Preferably you may write them in multiple languages if you have written some grammars of little known languages. Then document the endangered languages. Write a research proposal for a target language and receive funding from documenting the target language. You, as a linguist, can write um, research proposal seeking some funding, so financial assistance will be provided to you once your research proposal is accepted by a particular funding agency. In India we have many agencies like CIIL, Central Institute of Indian Languages, Mysore in Bangalore, and then we have UGC, University Grants Commission. You can also write for that. Then there is one international platform like endangered languages um, platform is also there, and that international platform for language endangerment also provides financial assistance to the linguists or researchers who are going to document lesser known languages. Then grammars of exotic languages, and the languages which are foreign languages, you can also write them if it's possible as a linguist. And there are two kinds of approaches in order to document the language. One is armchair approach. Armchair approach is like you are just you need not to visit the field site, but you may sit at your home in a comfy chair, and then you will simply read out certain books based on linguistics or languages, and then you will write up one research paper or any other thing like that. But that is secondary work. The primary work can be done through your field visits. You need to collect raw data of the language by visiting the field site, and that the linguist who avoids this armchair approach, he becomes the dirty feet linguist. That means he has to tread on his feet in a very far off place where there is no possibility of vehicles or transport facility, and he has to walk on his feet, and he has to collect data after covering long distances by feet. So this is the approach. So dirty feet linguist collects the original data of the language, and accordingly the language gets documented. Then what is next? Field work. So collecting data in the field becomes your field work. And where can you do your field work? At home. Yes, you can do something as a part of field work at home, like you need to prepare word lists, so sentences list, and proverbs, folk tales, and folk songs. So what kind of data you are going to collect? Accordingly you need to make notes in order to get prepared for the field visit. That suppose you want to collect 1,000 words of that target language, then definitely you need to prepare word list. Which kinds of words you are going to collect? As I recently told you in previous slides, yes, this slide, uh, yes, what kinds of words you are going to collect related to nature, animals, mountains, rivers, agriculture, human body, teaching, learning, medical, profession, cultural performances, kinship, marriage, etc. So that is up to you. You have to decide what kind of languages, what kind of data you are going to collect. So word lists are supposed to be prepared accordingly. Then sentences, what kinds of sentences are you going to formulate, are you going to present in that language? So whether sentences are acceptable or not acceptable. So acceptability or unacceptability of the sentences. So the sentences which are not approved by the native speakers are unacceptable sentences, and which are approved are acceptable ones. So accordingly, this way your notes preparation work related to field work can be done at home. Then, once these notes are prepared in the form of word lists, sentences lists, and proverbs, folk tales, folk songs, etc., then you can carry those notes with you at the field site. Yes, you can collect word lists, sentences, proverbs, folk tales, folk songs, etc. Then we have one important aspect while collecting data in the field site. So once you are in the field and you are collecting data from the field site, you need to take care of one aspect, like for cross checking and validating data. Suppose you collected words, uh, 10 words from one native speaker of the language under documentation. Then how can you confirm that those words, collected words, are valid or true? Bona fide context of those words is supposed to be there. And how can you confirm that? For that purpose, you need not to consider only one single speaker of that language. You must consult more than one speaker for the one and same expression. Suppose I'm going to collect the data from Sarudi language, and what could be the word for further in that language? Bow. But some native speaker told me something else, and I how can I rely upon that expression, that is the true one, that for bow, some, if native speaker wants to um, mislead you, then some misleading information may also get inducted while collecting data, some words which are not appropriate in that language. So for that purpose, you need to consult 10 speakers for those 10 words. And if the majority of the speakers verify that this, yes, these 10 words which you have collected are exactly the same words for the expressions which are there in English equivalents. So this way you may not be misled by the native speaker. And if you consulted only one speaker of that language and collected 1,000 words, so it may be quite possible that you are misled by that one. So why cross checking is required? Because one cannot mislead you. So misleading will not take place if you cross check the data with multiple speakers for the same words which you have collected from one or two speakers or three speakers or 10 speakers. So you need to consult as many as speakers you can consult in order to uh, reach the conclusion that the collected data are quite satisfactory and relevant with equivalent in English language. As a documenter, you can document bilingual dictionaries like Saraji English, Bhadravai English, Sarudi English, Hindi English, Bangla English, any other. So in India is a multilingual country where more than 1200 languages are spoken. And you know, out of these, there are many, undocumented languages, regional languages, which have not been, approached, or which have not been easily accessed by the linguists. And for that purpose, you need to visit data, you need to, field site, and you need to collect data of that language and preserve that in order to document, uh, and in order to make it available to the rest of the world, that this language is spoken at particular area. And it was previously ignored, or it was not documented by linguists. And then this way something can be done meaningful. And it is the job of a linguist who has interest in documenting and preserving languages. So that person can document the language as per this idea of linguistics. And these are the references, certain prominent examples, like a manual of field linguistics, field works and structures of Indian languages. Then People's Linguistic Survey of India, the languages of Jammu and Kashmir. Then we have George Grierson's Linguistic Survey of India. And then the Indo-Aryan languages by P. Collins Masika. And now, this is the end of my talk. And now I would like to let you know that if there are any questions which are there in your minds, you may raise them. um, and I would like to address those questions if there is any doubt. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ravi. Actually, we're going to have our Q&A part, that is the question and answer portion, right after our quiz competition. So please stay bear with us. That was very interesting discussion. The knowledge you shared will be useful to our audience because you shared lots of new ideas that is truly relevant in the field of education, specifically with regards to teaching linguistic to literary teachers and the benefits that we get in understanding linguistics and language as integral part of human lives. The significance and importance of teaching phonology and morphology was amazing. No doubt our viewers have benefited from today's webinar through the awareness that we have received from the technique you shared. What really caught my interest was when you discussed about the preliminaries for documenting language. That was very interesting. Thank you so much, sir. And once again, I would like to thank you for sparing your valuable time with us. And we'll see you again in the Q&A part, sir. Please, Dr. Rabi Parihar, stay with us. Okay? We'll see you again. Okay. Once again, thank you so much. And I would like to remind the audience, please don't forget to like, share, write a comment, and tag your friends in the comment box because this encourages us to do better and give our best service. Thank you for your support. And then we will also give the e-certificate link in the comment box. If you encounter any problem, you can collect your e-certificate direct from our website, that is www.eduigp.com. Then after collecting your certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP by your check-in. At this moment, we will now proceed to our quiz competition. Please go to slido.com and our code is IGP quiz in all caps. Okay, I'm encouraging everyone Okay, guys, I'm encouraging you to please join our quiz competition at slido.com. And our code is IGP quiz in all caps. Go to the link below. Get ready. Okay, I could see 58 participants in our poll. Are you ready, guys? Okay, this time we have 63 participants and counting. Go to slido.com, www.slido.com, and the code is IGP quiz in all caps. Come on. Okay, you may in few minutes, in just a minute, we will be starting our quiz competition. Right now we have 72 participants. We have question number 1. What is morpheme? Minimal meaningful sounds unit in a language or minimal meaningful word unit in a language? What is your answer? Okay, and the answer is minimal meaningful sound unit in a language, and 83 participants get the correct answer. That is 83% of the participants. Carlo P. Malabanan is leading the board. Question number 2. What is morpheme? Meaningful. Minimal meaningful sound unit in a language or minimal meaningful word unit in a language? Okay, the correct answer is minimal meaningful word unit in a language. And 83% of the participants got the correct answer. That was good. Dennis Ginto Sarsoso is leading the board this time. Okay, question number 3. Syntax deals with the study of blank. Is it sentence or phrase? The correct answer is sentences. 65% of the participants got the correct answer. Congratulations to all of you. Now we will proceed to question number 4. Dennis Quinto Sarso is still leading the board. What does semantics do? It helps us study the words and the word parts. Okay. What does semantics do? It helps us study the words and word parts, or it helps us generating and understanding the meaning. Okay, let's wait for a while. What does semantics do? It helps us study the words. It's okay. Let's proceed to question number 5. Linguistics is the science of languages. Is it true or false? The correct answer is true. 96% of the participants get the correct answer. Wow, that is good. Giselle Galbadon is leading the board this time. Okay, we will now proceed to question number 6. Connotation refers to wide range of meaning, associations, or restricted meaning of an expression. I think we're having some technical problem right now. Let's just wait for a while. But 69% answered wide range of meaning association and 31% answered restricted meaning of an expression. Let's see what is the correct answer. Okay, let's wait for the correct answer. I think we're having some problem. Okay. So wide range of meaning association is the correct answer. That is 69% of the participants got that answer. Next number, question number 7. The multiple meaning of a word which are related historically and conceptually is known as polyonymy or polysemy. This is something difficult. 87% answered polyonymy, but the correct answer is polysemy. Only 13% got the correct answer. Okay. And for our question number 8, the words flower and rose denote the sense relation of blank. synonymy or hyponymy? Let me guess the answer. Hyponymy is the correct answer. 43% of the participants get the correct answer. Wonderful. Next number. Question number 9. Blackboard is a compound word. What is the grammatical class of this word? Adjective or noun? The correct answer is noun. 82% of the participants get the correct answer. And now we're down to the last question. Blank is a criteria used to differentiate a dialect from a language. Is it lingualized or multilingual? Intelligibility. Mutual intelligibility. Only 18% of the participants got the correct answer. The correct answer is mutual intelligibility. So we have the top 10 winners of this competition. May we see their number or their names now? Okay, for number 1, we have Ana Marie Joy Mercado. Congratulations, Ana Marie. And number 2, we have Romel Jan Aquino. For number 3, we have Naung Lak Hatun. And then number 4, may I see the name of number 4? Okay, number 4 is Diez Austria. And number 5 is Richard Ardenio. Number 6 is Chanel Miranda. Number 7 is Jeffrey Salam. Number 8 is Maureen Kate Villanueva. Number 9 is Dennis Quinto Serso. And number 10 is Neljen Rubebe. Congratulations to our quiz competition top 10 winners. Congratulations to all of you. In a while, you will be receiving your quiz completion certificate. Well, we will now proceed to our Q&A part of the program. You may start sending your questions in our comment box. If you have any, once again, let us welcome back our speaker for today's webinar. Welcome back, Dr. Ravi Parihar. You may now start sending your questions. Okay, we have here our first question from Peruz Akbarov. Can archaic word become neologism at some point? Are archaic words bound for complete removal from the active language? Archaic is archaic.
Yes, what's the question? Can archaic words become neologism at some point? Are archaic words bound for complete removal from the active language? So this question, can archaic words become neologism? So this is the basic point. And what is first of all archaic and then neologism? This is what we need to understand. So once we are able to understand archaic words and neologism, words related to neologism, then definitely we will be able to answer this one. And archaic words are like words which were earlier used in the language, but nowadays some modifications have taken place in the language, and some new words have replaced the older ones. So in this is the aspect of historical linguistics. Those linguists which are dealing with the historical or diachronic study of the language, they establish this archaic and neologism aspect of language. So neologism is entirely a new concept, or a different concept from archaic words. Archaic words are already available within the language, and neologism is what coinage of new words in the language. So new words are always uh, generated uh, at present time when the language is spoken. So we cannot relate that term with the archaic words which are historically known in the past. So at given point of time, if we are going to consider language study, if we conduct our study in at one point of time, like it is synchronic study. Synchronic study talks about the language aspects at present time or at specific given time, but it never lasts from like 1940s and till date. So archaic words are always preserved for futurity. It's not neologism is what coinage of new word, absolutely. So there is you know Mm, um, archaic words do not become neological words. So words which are not related to neologism. So neologism, archaic words are having some differences. So we cannot say that archaic word would become neologism based word. So neologism is absolutely creation of a new word. So you need to create word. So that is the you know acceptability or not acceptability of the native speaker of the language. And native speakers are responsible for creating the new words, new coinages are taking place. But archaic words are different. So this is historical linguistics versus you know uh, s- synchronic linguistics. And likewise there are two aspects, diverse aspects are taking place here. So I personally believe that archaic words cannot be considered as neologism under neologism. So because the archaic words are related to historical linguistics, whereas neologism is not like that. So archaic words cannot be removed. This is not the case. So historically or diachronically, if you are going to consider a language, it's a study from some specific time period like 1940s to 1960. Suppose we are going to consider one language in from 1940s to 1960, 20 years gap period is considered for studying a language. Then what changes took place in that language, we can find out archaic words in that. But we cannot remove those words absolutely from the native language, because that language exists in two ways, like at specific point of time and at historical point of time. So language evolves from past to present. Some phonetic changes have taken place, and this is the job of a historical linguist to trace out which one are the archaic words and which are neologism based. So in active language we cannot remove absolutely archaic words, but we can use them with certain references. In certain contexts we can use them. Otherwise there is no need to consider archaic words if we are considering language at, you know, specific point of time, like at this present time. If we are considering particular language for uh, documentation or for studying purpose, so that cannot be done. So archaic words are not bound to be completely removed, but we can refer them back in active language when, as and when these are required, I would say.
That was wonderful answer. Okay.
Another, yes, there are certain examples in English, like certain archaic words like anon. This is anon, and its meaning is right away or immediately. And nowadays, this anon word is not being used because changes have taken place in that language. And other words are there, like betwixt. That this is betwixt, and the meaning of this word is in between. So in today's, or in contemporary English language, nobody writes betwixt, but everyone says in between or writes in between. Then another example is also there, and that is uh, you know Erlong. This is Erlong, and Erlong means soon. So everyone writes or pronounces soon, not this Erlong. So this way, these are, archaic words are, kept in historical context nowadays, but we cannot absolutely deny them. If we want to give some reference in archaic context, then we can absolutely present them in an active language context. Otherwise these are not required. So active language only considers the present scenario of the language. At present time, what kinds of words are being considered by the native speakers as or validated, so those we can consider them. And neologism is what, coinage of new words. So absolutely new words are taking place as and when the speakers are establishing them.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful answer. We have our second question this time from Manolita Ramos Oligo. In teaching linguistics, what are your thoughts about
Yes.
A, classroom practice, B, linguistically responsive teacher, and C, ways teachers tackle linguistic bias on the classroom?
Yes, exactly. This is very interesting question, and I would like to answer it
One by one.
appropriately. Now, the first of all question is, what in teaching linguistics, what are your thoughts about classroom practice, then linguistically responsive teachers, and ways teachers tackle linguistics bias on classroom. Now, first of all, if we consider teaching linguistics at classroom as a classroom practice, how are we going to consider our teaching based on linguistic practices? Like suppose we are teaching uh, to primary class children who are at primary stage, and we are teaching them. So what kinds of, you know uh, grammatical aspects we are going to teach? Like suppose we are teaching forms of the verb, like go, went, gone. So present, past and past participle. So this way, what is generalized basically? Students at lower classes or primary classes, they consider this kind of learning. They overgeneralize the things, like they will say go, go, then goed, goed. then again go it, for go went and gone. So this way, that kind of, you know, our generalization can be removed from the minds of students, those who are tiny at the stage, primary stage, and they are supposed to teach this way, that for go we have went and then gone, not go it. It's not like that. So this way, this comes under classroom practice in context to teaching linguistic content. It comes under second language teaching and learning process. So how the student is learning a second language, because learning first language is acquired naturally. It is learned by birth, in family, in society, whereas second language is learned in classroom. So second language can be for Bangla speaking, for Bengali speaking students, their first language is Bengali, second language can be Hindi or English. So this way, it depends on the teacher what kind of language he is going to teach, what teaching aspects are that that language teacher is going to implement. So it depends on the but individual teacher, what is the content for teaching, accordingly he has to teach that. So in fact, this comes under second language teaching practices, with classroom practice, what we are going to teach linguistically. And then this is the responsibility of the linguistically responsive teachers to make the, you know, faulty expressions or learning which has some errors in second language context. Those errors are supposed to be removed with correct expressions, like when a student says, oh, the first form is go, second is goid, go, and then ed for past tense purpose. So this our generalization, a teacher has to make it correct, as a responsible teacher from linguistic context. And the teachers tackle linguistics bias on classroom. Yes, this is also very significant to know. Now what is that? Suppose I am expert in grammar teaching, then most of the students throughout the world or globe have acquired certain language fallacies. Now, what are the language fallacies? Language fallacies, like, mm, majority of the students believe that the grammar of Bengali is inferior to English. This expression, this notion is considered as a language fallacy. So this language fallacy is supposed to be removed with certain inputs, like every language is equal. There is no superiority or inferiority complex in languages, whether that is Bengali or English. Both the languages have their own grammars, and each grammar is, you know, proficient. I would say each grammar is equal. There is no inequality or superior or inferiority complex is not there. No grammar is primitive. No language is primitive and the other one is, you know, advanced. That's not the issue. Because why? Because the levels of linguistics are there. Like in Bengali we have sound system, consonants, vowels are there. Then similarly we have word parts, morphemes, bound morphemes, free morphemes are also there in Bengali. So similarly, these sentences are also there. Then phrases, clauses, etc. All these meaning is also there. So these different levels of linguistics are available with every language. Then how can we claim that Bengali is primitive in context to its grammar, or Bengali has, you know, mm, inferior grammar? Yeah, the status of Bengali is inferior to the status of English language. No, it cannot be considered in a biased way. So that biasedness can be removed, and it is responsibility of the teacher who acts as a linguist. He has to remove this thing. So this way it is done.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that. Another very good answer. Shall we have our next question now? Okay, our next question is from Levi Frondozo Jr. Good evening, Dr. Parihar. In doing language research, is participants' observation the most advisable methodology when discovering the proso- prodo- prosodic effect on neologism to speech?
So, yeah, this is also very important question. In doing language research, whether the participant observation is most advisable method when discovering the prosodic effect of neologism to speech. So I would say this participant observation method is not most advisable one when we need to discover the no prosodic effect in context to neologism to speech. At that point of time, we always need the language interpreter with us. So the person who is acting as the native speaker of the language where we are going to uh, trace out certain expressions. For that purpose, we need to hire one person who is the native speaker of that language. So language mediator is very much important in order to arrive at the prosodic effect of neologism if we are considering the dialogues in particular performance. So this way it is what I would say it's not most advisable way. It's then you need to consult the speaker. Otherwise, how would you come to know about a particular expression, what is being considered in speech as a neologism?
Okay, thank you, sir. And now let's have our next. Do we have more questions? I think we do not have any more questions. Thank you so much for that wonderful answers that we received from you, Dr. Ravi Parihar. To all the participants who actively participated in our Q&A part, thank you so much for all your wonderful questions. And to Dr. Parihar, thank you so much for your marvelous responses and comprehensive answers for the queries of our dear audience. I am sure that all are satisfied with your answers since all queries are very well answered. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Parihar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for organizing this event, and I am very grateful to the Institute of Global Professionals, and especially to um, you and the organizer of this event as well. And I got this opportunity to disseminate my learnings to rest of the participants, and I hope participants have got benefit out of this lecture. Some meaningful context has been delivered, I assume this. And um, the various participants got benefited out of this opportunity, and I congratulate all of them to keep on learning, and more I encourage them in that way. So this is what I have to say, and I hope uh, organizers have also learned something purposeful in this talk.
Yes, definitely we have learned a lot from you, sir. Thank you
Yeah, yeah.
so
Thank you,
much.
thank you so much. Now
Thank
I
you.
may I leave the link now, or do I need to stay more?
Okay, let's see. Okay, just okay, that was actually a very interesting discussion. Dear learners, we saw that at this moment you feel difficulties with using the website. We noticed that all the things and we are working on it, which is not our problem, but still our technical team is working on it. Thanks for your patience. For the certificate, please collect the certification link and certification code at this moment and try it in your free time. We saw that it occurs when lots of users wants to join our website. This is not our problem. This is just a temporary problem with our hosting provider. Again, thank you so much for your patience. Okay, shall we have the certification code this time? Let's see. Okay, our certification code for tonight is IGP 8520. Please take a screenshot of this IGP 8520 or you may take it down now. Take note of this. Today's program name is Teaching Linguistics to Literary Teachers, and today is November 24. Please collect your cert code and the program name. Don't forget to enroll in our website, that is www.eduigp.com. Okay, once again, our code is IGP 8520. Okay, are you done taking down note? Okay, I think that concludes our program for today. To my fellow knowledge seekers, I would like to thank all of you for attending today's session. Hopefully, you have learned something new today that will be useful in your life. If you learned something or we have been helpful to you, even just a little bit, please leave a review on our page. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our Facebook group, Facebook page, and YouTube channel. Don't forget to collect your e-certificate and give a check-in with IGP. Please spread the information about IGP to your friends. We hope to see you all again in our next webinar, that is tomorrow night. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Stay happy and stay safe. Again, this has been your host, Marbeth, from the Philippines, signing off. Bye, everyone. Okay, again, I would like to thank all of you for your active participation. Thank you so much. And again, I would like to ask if a favor from all of you. Please spread the information about IGP to your friends. Okay? And also, don't forget to like, share, tag your friends in all our webinars. Thank you so much. Stay happy and stay safe. Bye.